Hi, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Talent Movies. I'm Ramya,
I'm Aswin.
and today we're going to talk about Jigarthanda, Karthik Subraj's second film. So this movie is basically about an upcoming director who's trying to make his first film. He gets forced to do a gangster film, and he decides to do a film about a real gangster from Madurai. So the gangster is played by Bobby Simha, who's playing Assault Sethu, and the film just circles around about Siddharth has to do to make his debut films. Okay, so this is Karthik Subraj's second film. So his first film was Pizza. So he actually wanted to get Vijay Sethupathi to play Assault Sethu instead of Bobby Simha. I think Vijay Sethupathi made commitments to other movies or something, so he didn't actually end up doing the film. He did just do cameo scene. And one of the weirdest thing I noticed about this was they did a lot of interviews after the movie was released, and Siddharth and Karthik Subraj would be like, "Oh yeah, we wanted Vijay Sethupathi, but Bobby played it instead." While Bobby would be like sitting there in the interview. I was like, "That's so rude." Like he did a really good job with this role.
Yeah.
So I thought like, after the movie came out, you shouldn't be saying that. But in every interview I watched so far, like they would always say that. And I thought Bobby Simha like did such a great role. Like he convinced you after a point that he wasn't even like him anymore. It was just Assault Saber.
Yeah, he got awards for it too, right? So, and they, but wouldn't, I thought Bobby Simha, like we just said, the and Karthik Subbaraj were kind of friends because they've been doing short films together and everything.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but it wasn't like they said it in a bad way. I think they
yeah,
said it kind of like, if you're talking to a friend, you're like, I still wanted him. Like, kind of like that. It wasn't like offensive or anything, but it was
yeah.
just, after he put out what he did, I thought, like, let's not mention Vijay Sethupathi so much. Let's get over him. But I still like Vijay Sethupathi. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah,
Bobby Simha did a good.
yeah, I like
Yeah.
I did like the small role he did in the movie as well. We just
He
said
actually
it, I
did
mean.
too.
Yeah, yeah, but I thought of it as,
Just the
so you know,
ending? No, did you just think, like, his cameo in the ending was more important?
yeah,
Oh,
so,
okay. That makes sense. He had like a longer scene and he actually had some acting to do in the end.
mm, yeah.
Another thing that was kind of like also so another thing that Karthik Suraj was hinting at was that during the movie, Siddharth has to kind of like up what he wants to do in order to make a film. The storekeeper, the old guy, like talks to him at the middle of the night on the road. Do you remember that scene?
No.
So it's basically when Siddharth gets forced to do the movie and then he gets sad about it because it's not what he wants to do. And then the
Oh
old guy
yeah,
would
yeah,
say, "Oh, I was a director too, but nobody was listening to me, so I gave up." It was kind of
yeah,
like a hint at the fact that Karthik Suraj had to do pizza. He wrote
yeah,
Jigadanda first, but then he had to do pizza just so he can get a film out.
yeah.
And then he was able. So I thought he was like hinting at. I mean, he did a lot of references to his own life. First scene
Yeah,
of.
I did think that as well. How because he was on a show where
Yeah.
they for like new directors. He probably did use some of his past experiences from the
Yeah,
show as well.
that was kind of weird though. I don't ever remember watching a movie where like a director would exactly use a life experience and put it in a movie. You know what I'm saying? Like there's obviously like people's influences from life experiences, but this was more of he was literally in that type
Directly,
of
yeah,
show. Yeah, and
yeah.
I don't know who you're trying to be like rude to, but okay, works for the movie. So the first half of this movie is super dark gangster film. The shots, especially, and like the music and everything.
And it's kind of like I don't want to compare it to pizza, but you know how in pizza, it's like a horror story, and then it turns out to be a con thing.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Similar,
kind of like a cover up for something
yeah.
else.
Yeah, and oh, it was remade in Telugu as well.
Yeah, they're making like a Hindi and Telugu version, I think.
So this movie actually did have a big cast. They obviously had Siddharth as Karthik, Bobby Simha, Lakshmi Menon, Karuna Karan, and some other.
Was this
What was the
Lakshmi Menon's
producer?
first movie?
I think she did Kumki first, isn't
Oh,
it?
okay.
No, but what was the producer's name?
Ardikalam Naren?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I didn't. Why does he have Adhikalam?
Yeah, but like he got noticed especially for that role.
Oh, wait.
Like
Has he
that was
been?
the
Oh, and the thing is, I think he's been in every Karthik Subaraj movie at the look of it. He's been Pizza. He was in Perta for sure.
he was?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
he was Bobby Simha's dad.
Dad. Yeah.
Karthik Subraj has a cast that he just like moves
Yeah.
around everywhere. So
Now, I think we can say most directors have somewhat have a cast like that. So we saw that for Adhika, for Richie Martin, and then we saw it for Venkat Prabhu as well.
Oh yeah, but these are like three guys who just have that cast. Like I can't think of like GVM having a cast that he moves around. I can't think of
Yeah.
Money right now. It's just I think like new upcoming directors or maybe just they're so comfortable with just certain people and they can't.
Yeah, I think they see it. So some directors they would just see cast members as just actors, or some of them actually
Yeah.
end up, the newer ones actually become friends. And
So let's talk about Bobby Simla. Even though like Siddharth was like the main actor,
our
like
eyes are more on Bobby Simha compared
yeah,
to
they
the
put a lot of time on Bobby Simla. Like, felt like he was still considered a side character, but he was actually the way the movie was done, easily like the main person of the film. And I think like I heard that when he was doing this movie during like just like sitting around, like he would try not to get out of character because he was so into it. Like he wouldn't want to like talk to people because he was so focused on just being Salt Savior.
And I think most actors do that when they have a edgy, weird character
Right.
to do. So
Maybe, yeah. I
yeah,
think that makes more sense because once you get into that character, it's kind of hard to keep going back and forth. Maybe that's why. But yeah,
unless you're
I found
Vikram, obviously.
right. Yeah, because they can just like do it within seconds. Everybody. What
And
else is there about?
Bobby Simha, I think this movie is the one he won most awards for, and it makes sense. I think this is one of his most notable movies for his acting, at least.
For sure, for sure. Everything else was did no one gave him that opportunity to do such a good character as well. He
Yeah,
was in like Pizza and everything too, but he was
yeah,
so he was a cameo and it was just we just everybody wrote those movies. He was also in Italy too, right? Even then, like
yeah,
he
yeah.
was
He
so
did, he did,
side.
yeah, he did. He didn't have as much to do as this movie, anyways.
I think
I
Ajay.
liked Karuna Karan. His comedy was pretty good.
Yeah, he was. He looked so bad in the movie though, like with the oily hair
Oh
and his
yeah,
outfit. I can't handle these outfits. His comedy was actually really good, and considering like how serious the first half of the movie
yeah,
was, and they still gave him like that opportunity to like make stupid
yeah,
jokes.
yeah.
And do
And
you
that's
remember
not,
the
yeah.
one? He's dreaming, but he says to Selu, "Oh,
Uh,
you can't." He's like, "Oh no, I killed someone," and like their blood was like rushing out, and
yeah.
he's like, "That didn't happen. I don't believe that." And then he dreams of like actually getting stabbed
Oh
like
yeah.
that. So I was like, "This is it. This is all I need." Oh, and then another one was when they were both sleeping, and then he'd be like, "Oh,
Oh
on
yeah.
this side is Karpala or something."
Yeah, yeah.
Like so many stupid jokes. Oh, and another thing that I found weird about his jokes was in the house scenes, it was always something related to the TV. Siddharth would leave and he'd be like watching TV and he'd like take a nap and he's like, "Oh, you were gone, but then you came back before this scene." And then like
Oh yeah,
when
yeah,
Selu comes, like they always kind of like made these weird references to whatever was on the TV.
yeah,
So Siddharth plays Karthik. He didn't have a lot of like character development. I can't even say that. The ending he does
yeah,
develop. I just don't know if it developed in the right. Yeah, I think that's all. There was a huge cast. Like I'll agree with that. Like there was like a lot of
Oh yeah, all of
small
his,
roles.
yeah, Absurdus
Whole gang.
gang or whatever. Yeah,
Even the gang, like some of those gang people came and paid there and like other movies as
yeah,
well. Like, that's kind of cool. But
yeah,
yeah, they
and
all played.
yeah, and they did give some kind of background to some of the gang members. So when they tried to do the research,
Oh yeah,
they
yeah.
yeah, so they do give some detail about how or what they do and things like that.
Even for that, the BGM, the music shots, like
Yeah,
those were so good. Like them
yeah,
running and the music. Even the small characters, they had roles with the throughout the movie, right? It wasn't something like, oh, we'll just talk about his main three people and then never see them again. It wasn't like that. It was like they always like kept coming back. And then Lakshmi Menon played Kyle. She didn't get that much though.
yeah. She didn't have to do much.
She was the reason for the turning point of the movie. They could have given. She got one song, and I thought, some of those scenes could have been in the song, could have been actual scenes in the movie, like her telling Siddharth about Bobby Simha, because that's why
Yeah,
he starts talking to her, right?
yeah,
You don't get to ever hear what she actually tells him about. Oh, she does actually say in one scene, like we can hear it, and she says, "Why are you asking?" We still don't get like what he gets to know. Anything else you would like to say? The guy they kill in the beginning, he ends up like they reference him at the very end of the movie, and that's a reference to like Talabad. So in like
nice.
Talabadi, Rajni ends up marrying the girl,
Oh,
the guy
like
he
that.
killed.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
remember that. Yeah.
So there's another guy in the cast named Sounder, and he's a part of Cebu's gang. He was like
He,
important for like 10 minutes.
yeah. It was funny as well.
Yeah.
As in he was trying hard to become big in the gang,
Yeah.
but they just
I
like
was kind
because
of
it was young.
confused at end though. He's like, "Oh, I'm always loyal to you." But then what happened? Like, why? I guess that's a good thing they didn't go through that. Like, why be bothered with him? Why would he say that and then still work with another guy?
So Santosh Narayanan, his second movie for Karthik Subaraj, and it was. What did you think?
What? I thought it was incredible. Apparently, there's 27 BGMs in this movie. And the soundtrack is made out of 5 songs.
What was your
When
favorite
you're,
song?
I don't think I had a favorite song. To be fair, I thought the BGM was so good that like I
Yeah,
couldn't be like, oh, I like this song. I would try to search up the background score, but I would never try to like be like, oh, I
yeah,
like this Kandama song. I want to listen to it. When they do the montage of like his flashback, those were like all. I don't know if there were different BGMs within that montage, but it was good enough for you to understand how big of a gangster he's supposed to
yeah,
be in the movie. There's so many. There's like a BGM for Urni. It's probably when like he first showed up in the film.
yeah,
The film, the music played an important role. It was a lot of like whether it was, Siddharth being sad or him being like having a good time with his friend, especially when he keeps telling Urni, "Oh, you'll be the second hero." There's that weird music that plays
yeah.
that's supposed to like show, "Oh, Urni's happy now."
So you know when they first showed Serda, they played this music.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought there
that's
was
me.
different music every time like he showed up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think they played this BGM like maybe only 2 times or 3 times throughout the movie, but yeah, they
Okay.
did change it.
Do you remember the BGM for when they talk about Sedu almost dying and he's like
Yeah,
he gets like cut like and he shoots people? I
yeah,
thought that was like the best BGM throughout the movie. Yeah, I think the music got like a lot of hype around it, especially
yeah,
the villain BGM. It's supposed to be like one of the greatest.
yeah.
Okay, so
What was your favorite scene?
so my first favorite scene is one I already mentioned. It's the one where the shopkeeper tells Siddharth about how Sedu almost dies, and he jumps into a car and shoots everyone. I thought that scene was epic. Another scene was when Sedu catches Siddharth, and he's like, "Are you guys a cop?" And he says, "No, I'm trying to do a gangster movie like
Yeah.
Nayagan and Talavadi." And Sedu gets like super happy about it. I thought that was great. Even in that scene.
I think my favorite was it's kind of a funny favorite. So you know when someone tries to kill him in the toilet,
Oh yeah.
and then someone else opens the door and then gets shot, and then the guy comes out and he thinks it's Sedu.
Yeah.
Sedu's just looking at him, and then this guy is like, "Oh, Sedu looks different now." Blah blah blah, and
Oh
then
yeah, he got
Sedu's gang
scared or
comes up.
something.
Yeah, yeah. I was just
But that's
laughing.
such a serious scene.
I know, but
Oh,
someone
that's
made it funny at the same time.
oh. I did not laugh, but okay. I get what you're saying though. I thought it was
Yeah.
like too serious for me to laugh, but
But
no.
sometimes in this movie, it would be really serious, but something would make it funny. So
Oh right, like when they kill that guy in their house, and then the
yeah.
cop comes in, they have to
Oh
act
yeah,
like
and these
he's
two
still
guys are
alive.
fighting. Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I get what you mean now. Yeah, that makes sense. I think it was kind of like trying to make the movie serious, but not too serious, maybe.
Yeah.
Another scene I would say is obviously Petri Marin's cameo at the very end.
Yep.
Poor guy. Like I don't get how did Kartik Subraj get Petri Marin to do a cameo? That guy doesn't do a cameo in his own movie. But
Or
yeah,
maybe he
and
liked pizza or something, and he was like, okay.
maybe he's a very genuine guy. He's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'll come, whatever.
Yeah.
Another one was obviously Vijay Sethupathi scene. Oh, and something I really liked about this movie was the photos. Like Siddharth's wallpaper for his computer was like this old Rajini picture, and I was like, it's super cool. And then Vijay Sethupath's office had some really good black and white pictures as well
Yeah. Remember
of
that?
old
Yeah.
actors. I thought that was kind of cool. Like I don't know how they found those pictures, but very good job with that. I think the first half of the movie was so good that I don't have anything to complain about. I'll probably say like the first half was my favorite.
Okay.
Because it's very hard for the second half to be like, oh, I had a favorite scene. Maybe like anything that had to do with the teacher and
Yeah.
like trying to get Bobby
Oh
somewhere
yeah, that's
useful.
true. Yeah.
Even Udmi being a part of those acting classes, and when he says he lists out everybody's name and he's like, come to this side, and then Bobby said, might have come to that side,
Oh yeah.
and he tells, oh, we passed. What? You guys suck at acting. That was good. So moments you were like, What's happening?
So you know when they go to kill Sundar, I think it was. So they tell Sundar, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought they were just going to tell him and then see if he tells anyone that. I didn't think they would actually go to the house with the whole gang. I don't know if you get what I
Oh,
mean. So you know how
yeah. Like,
all
are
of
you
them
trying to
go,
say
even the
like,
people who don't know the plan.
wait? So are you trying to if they called the entire gang, how did they find out it was Sundar who told it?
Yeah.
So it would have been like a trust thing, right? So like they never told Sundar anything before, and they probably told the gang, and then now that somehow that guy escaped, and this time we brought Sundar, it's obviously like correlated,
Yeah, makes sense.
right? It could be that too, right?
Yeah.
Do not expect them to catch Siddharth. That was something I was like, yo, you guys are gangsters. You're not supposed to like think this through, but
Yeah, they can't be this smart.
yeah, exactly. But they put it, I guess in a sense it makes sense because a moment for me was when Siddharth flips, right? Like he goes through the entire movie being like this chill guy, and
Yeah.
then when everything kind of like goes out of his control or out of his way, he kind of becomes like this nasty person.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? I guess in a sense, it's kind of like, he wants to do something and he's not getting it. You're still making a movie, so you don't have to be this awful about it.
It's kind of like Sedu and Siddharth swap characters.
Yeah, I loved it when he's telling Siddharth about his lifestyle, and he's like, "Oh, we have like 3 packages," and he doesn't say packages right. He says packages in like the
Yeah.
weirdest way, and he'd be like, "Oh
Okay.
yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah," he'd be like, "We charge this much just to scream, and then we charge this much." What? And then even when Siddharth is recording all that, he will be like, "Oh, can you add some violence?" And like Sethu would do it. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Sethu didn't seem like a bad guy by the end of the movie, but like, Siddharth did.
Yeah.
What else was a moment you were like, "What's happening?"
Yeah.
When Vetri Marin is shooting the movie and he calls the acting teacher,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Wait, why are we calling the acting teacher?" Bobby Sima got shot. He needs help to act that, or what does he say at the end?
Oh, he shakes his body and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's when the bullet hits him. I think he didn't do it properly. Maybe he did it too fast or
Over
whatever.
dramatic?
So yeah, yeah. So they called the teacher to fix that.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, I know that like in the beginning he would say like, cry more, the acting teacher
Yeah.
to Sedu, but like, all he had to do was act dead, and he couldn't even do that, right?
I think Karthik Subraj is the end. He does switch stuff up towards the end. How in this one, Siddharth kind of changed his character,
Yeah.
and then in Pizza we find out that why
Oh,
they
okay,
did it
okay.
at the end. In Perta, we find out why Rajini said
Um.
what he said. But in
So
Ivy, I'm not sure.
it
'Cause
was basically,
at the end,
dude. I think I'd agree. They went from being like not normal men, but like somewhat okay men to their entire lives flipping on them. Jigarthanda, when the movie title comes up, it says cold heart,
yeah,
but like if you actually search it up, it's like a cold drink. And Siddharth explains the meaning of the name at the very end, and I'm like, he says like Jigit or Jig means like cold, and then the rest means heart. But I don't know in what language or.
apparently it's derived from Urdu/Hindi. So Jigarthanda was a really good gangster/comedy movie with amazing music by Santosh Narayanan, and it had amazing acting by Bobby Simha as well. And if you haven't watched it, watch it for sure. Anything you want to add?
No, not really.
So for next week's episode, we are going to talk about our favorite movies throughout Vijay Sethupathiy's career and just talk about what we liked about them and how he's got to where he is now. Tweet us a new podcast every Monday.